Again, you're still watching the AM show live on the Joy News channel of Multi TV. Mama V is here with me, the lady in black. Any special auspicious occasion for today?
Can I just say that my first choice dress failed me this morning?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it happens. You know, in Hollywood, they said when something goes wrong with your wardrobe, and so they have a phrase for it.
It's a wardrobe malfunction.
Good. Aku school. And you know, there's been a lot of disasters lately. And just this morning, just on the intersection, the Joel intersection, you know, for many of you who know the Joel intersection,
which is very close to the Fiesta
Royale Hotel, there's just been a major accident there. Since the last 3 hours, nothing has been able to be done to make sure that the place at least is cordoned off, and then the fire service and the police service who are currently there will be able to do some level of recovery as far as a trailer truck that was loaded with cement cargo that had got stuck in there. I believe that there's a saloon car also that's beneath it. A very gory accident scene.
So if you're driving on that stretch of the road, just be careful. If you're just about taking off from home, be careful right after the Fiesta Royale, the traffic lights. So you have to turn off somewhere.
Yeah, you have to turn on your right, go through Jawulu, or you go on your left, just in front of Fiesta Royale, and then you go through Achimota, then you come through the Achimota roundabout, and then head towards the Tesano area or the Achimota area. It depends on where you want to go.
So that's just by way of some traffic updates. Quickly, we'll look through our headlines now. And rescuers expected to continue the search for survivors today at the collapsed building sites at Neboy Town. Meanwhile, one person is trapped in the wreckage of a horrific accident that occurred this morning at Jolu. And minority in Parliament raises the red flag on Rich Hospital loan agreement worth over $300 million, calling it fraudulent.
Our first story, rescue workers spent the whole of Thursday digging through rubble in the hope of finding more survivors in a building collapse at Nebo Town here in Acquah. The 6-story uncompleted structure collapsed early Thursday, destroying other buildings in the vicinity. The rescuers managed to rescue one person, whilst one death has so far been confirmed. Matilda Pamoka has more.
The 6-story uncompleted structure, said to be an extension of the Grandview Hotel, is said to have collapsed around 4 a.m. Thursday.
We in Acquah had the emergency call around 5 a.m. I got a call from Joy FM around 5:30. By which time our urban search and rescue teams, as 2 teams are taking off to this scene. And then we send the emergency call to 48 Engineers Regiment, the National Security. We dispatch emergency calls to the National Fire Service, the National Ambulance, who are collaborators in this matter of rescue. So the rescue teams from these agencies assembled here, and by, I suppose, 8 a.m., we had done some rescue of 2 persons who were trapped in the rubble. We lost one life. The other life is trying to seek recovery in the hospital. The doctors are working very hard on getting him resuscitated and brought back to life. For us, we're trying to do the movement of the debris. And you can see the kind of congestion we have where the building collapsed. I've been told that it's reached about the 5th or 6th floor for a building which initially was 3 floors. And when we go near from this, I'll show you the joints are weak. The iron rods are not properly woven. This concrete seems better than the Melcom building collapse concrete.
Residents nearby spoke of rumbling, which felt like a downpour. Fozia tells Joy News she was trapped in a home by the fallen debris.
So traumatic, so traumatic, because I thought I was dying of dust. The dust was so much.
Managed to get out.
Well, they made the first experience from the other window, but because of the rails were so thick. for them to break. So they had to use the other window, which they used meshy rails plus the net. So they tore the net and then broke the meshy rails, dismantled everything, and then one of them jumped in, took my daughter out, and then outsiders took the daughter, and then I also climbed on chairs in order to get on top of the cabinet. So when I got to the cabinet, they took me from there.
Authorities spoke about the rescue efforts.
We did our assessment around the building just to make sure the place is safe, to give us the first-hand information. Now, after assessment, what we saw was somebody's hand. We got closer, tried to talk to the person. Because there was a break between we and the person, the communication was not flowing. So what we did was to dig further. So to create a space, we use some of our equipment to lift the slabs. After lifting, then we had access to the guy. We asked some few questions. That's where he told us that there are two. One is just lying beside him. After bringing him out, we tried to work on the other guy. After retrieving him, we sat down to look at it again.
The Acquah mayor, who was at the scene, said there have been attempts to stop the construction because there was no building permits.
It's also important to note, however, that the AMA have always been at work with respect to attempts to stop construction. This particular building, I believe, since 2000 land 2,000 acres was acquired in the year 1970. But since 2001, past mayors and other city authorities have made attempts to stop this particular development. As recently as 12 March 2013, 7 December 2013, and as recently as 26 February, the building inspectors have been at this job, getting this developer to stop developing. But all attempts have always fallen on deaf ears.
Local Government Minister Kwesi Oponfosu conceded there have been some failures on the part of authorities.
Well, as a country, yes, we still go back to law enforcement and the will to insist that people do not break the law. This land, as you rightly been informed, was acquired in the 70s. So where was everybody when the encroachment was going on, when people were building without building permits? It's failure on the part of regulatory bodies and some institutional failures, policy failures. It was a policy to acquire. Then along the line, we couldn't hold together. So for us as a country, it's not a blame game, but we need to insist that we abide by the law.
Though eyewitnesses believe all persons have been accounted for, authorities say they would continue to dig till they reach ground zero, explaining they can't leave anything to chance. Matilda Pomaga for Joy News, Accra.
Well, meanwhile, the police have confirmed the arrest of the contractor in charge of the collapsed structure. The Tessanot District Commander, who confirmed the arrest to Joy News, says the owner of the building is also being pursued.
All assessments we are making is that he is a contractor. He obviously is responsible for the construction of the building. So at any point in time, he should be certain in the fact that whatever it is they are putting up is of some standard. The people who are working in there have to work in an area which is safe. They have to work knowing that whatever part of the building they are in, that building is safe, you understand? So if all of these things have not materialized and unfortunately somebody has come in to work to construct your building and he has died, then it is obvious that somebody must be held responsible for it. And as the mayor said, and as I mentioned to the mayor earlier, so we are going to conduct thorough investigations into this. The engineers of the AMA are going to work together with the police, and as and when we come up with conclusions, we will make a decision, because the fact is that a life has been lost, somebody has been seriously injured, and obviously somebody must be held liable for that. Yes.
We want to know, has any attempt been made to reaching the owner of this building?
We finally got contact with the son of the owner, and according to him, his father is out of Accra. So we are going to continue to raise him and get to him. But it's the son who we had earlier on in the day. It's the father we need, because he's the owner of this building, he's the owner of that hotel. So he needs to come and then answer a few questions.
One passenger is badly trapped in a wreckage after a horrific accident on the Fiesta Royal Junction, or the Jowulu Junction, which is on the N1 highway in Accra. The two have been rescued and rushed to a hospital. Well, the accident happened around 4 a.m. Friday morning. A DAF trailer carrying cement slammed into the rear of a Toyota Corolla after the saloon had tried to overtake it. The trailer pushed it off the road, crashed it into metal railings along the N1 highway at Jowulu, and continued its destructive impact until a street lamp stomached the wreckage to a stop. The driver of the trailer, Charles Otre, is unhurt and told Majoy Online reporter George Nyavo he lost control of the steering wheel. Police, fire service and other personnel arrived at the scene and are currently using an excavator to separate the two vehicles in an effort to rescue the trapped man inside.
Fire master control that there is an accident here, and when we came, unfortunately we don't have the necessary materials to use to break it. So you can see that just now one of the tenders is in, which we may use the tenders to assist him. So now we are still on. We are trying our best to rescue him out.
Have you made any contacts? Have you made any phone calls to actually get something that can actually evacuate the bigger truck so that we can rescue the victim?
Yes, we did it, but because of Nibwai Town incident over there, all the vehicles, the rescue vehicles, whatever is there. That's why they haven't been here yet, but now one is here to assist us.
Acquah for this year. Intino on say unimadi into so munya botre na tekrota car na besenko anko mo so esimba mo nya botre na mo cross atekrota no atekrota so cement be 100 bags obo break anyi na o save mo so anyi na watcho ma beduru po intino lucky cry na 2 na nya mo tumi yu mo ko hospital nti akaba ko shima ndi ye machines I work count room na nye as I say o man nya machines a bibi say no ye dey be save Crawford towing cars I dey be save obi an ho akire no because you see a guy check mo obri more than almost 1 hour no mo ye 3 nti baako na driver no baako na trekiri ndi ye twetwe gate na yi wo na ma be from hospital. Now, boy, we are ashamed of machines. On BBC, I say, a man in your machine be a BBC, don't care, Fred. Now, you're saving the panel. Then you pay Shema, you pay bread. Our Mike cracker, you need to machine a bit to make you try. It's the best saving the passage. At the Creta Dravano. Already, I didn't see Anna or fetch on you, baby.
Free this side. I never crash here. Na omo ya cross one omo cross me but say na can free road so say I say a bom on na twin say the baba share.
Okay, so basically what the gentleman was saying in the other eyewitnesses at the event was that he suspects that the 3 in the car or in the Toyota Corolla were coming from a nightclub, and apparently there was some amber on the road because, you know, when it's dawn or throughout the night, the traffic lights don't stay on, they're put on alert. So when you're coming, you're supposed to slow before you cross any vehicle. So I guess there was some level of miscommunication between the two vehicles that were coming. So one just crossed the other, and in an effort to also make sure he doesn't hit the Corolla, just slammed it on impact. That is the trailer there. And following that, two occupants of the Toyota Corolla had been rescued, safely taken to the hospital, but the one that we're seeing in the picture currently is still
trapped one.
Yes, was trapped in there at the time. We're hoping that by this time he's been removed. But I just came through that very route and just entered the studio.
Well.
So far, I've not seen the efforts that has been made in terms of making headway in being able to rescue the gentleman.
And he's been there, we're told, since 3 a.m.
Yes.
And I passed through just a little after 5.
Yes, myself. And it's a very gory or unfortunate accident, but then it just also shows that when we're on the road, we just all have to be very careful.
So let's just all say a little prayer for the gentleman then. Let's pray and hope that he's pulled out safely. Well, we turn attention to some other stories now. A human rights court has awarded compensation of 200,000 Ghana cedis to a man unlawfully remanded for 14 years without trial for his alleged involvement in an armed robbery. The landmark ruling is believed could send a signal to thousands of others currently in detention for extended periods without trial. Ani Osabute has filed this report.
He lost his freedom, lost his business, and lost his wife. His only son also ended up a school dropout, forced to become a church mate here in Accra.
long time.
That's the story of 46-year-old Francis Ajari, who was unlawfully detained for 14 years at Insewam prison for his alleged involvement in a robbery incident. Francis Ajari was released unconditionally in 2008 under the Justice for All program and afterwards started proceedings to be compensated by the state. The court granted him 200,000 Ghana cedis. His lawyer, Francis Xavier Susu, told Joy News, although the awarded compensation was disappointing, he was happy for the victory.
But today gives me hope that Ghana is not just a jungle of people, but Ghana is a land of laws, that when people's life or people's liberty are unjustifiably taken away, there is some hope for them. And I believe that this should send a big warning to the whole, state, particularly state actors, to know that whatever they are doing is being watched. You cannot just arrest somebody and put him in detention for over 14 years without trial. A person who is barely 46 years is looking like 90 just because he has been put in this remand cells.
Though the judge said no amount of money can compensate for the number of years Francis Ajari spent in prison, there are those who believe the 200,000 Ghana cedis compensation is woefully inadequate.
200,000 Ghana cedis, it is God who will show me how to invest with it. Because I will now start my life with fresh, and I believe God will show me what to do. God will show me what.
Francis also says he has forgiven his accusers and detainers. Ani Osabute filed this report for Joy News.
A very unfortunate incident there. But again, it just shows that justice delivery in Ghana is at the optimum. The minority in parliament says Ghana will lose $85 million if a commercial agreement between the government of Ghana and Borges Batman International to expand the Ridge Hospital in Acquah for $306 million goes ahead. Parliament in February approved the agreement, clearing the way for the design, construction, procurement and installation of equipment for the rehabilitation of the hospital to go ahead. The deal was first sanctioned by the Parliamentary Subcommittee on Health before being approved by the whole House. However, the minority leader, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, Thursday suggested on the floor of Parliament that the deal was approved on the blind side of the minority. He said he had been away with the majority leader, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, in South Africa when the deal was approved. Consequently, he told the Speaker, Edward Doajaho, that the agreement will have to be brought to the House for revetting.
Well, the 2012 presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party is urging party sympathizers eager to know if he will again contest the flag bearership of the NPP to wait for his official announcement next week. Central Region executives of the NPP who were at his residence Thursday entreated him to make his intentions known. Nana Akufo-Addo, however, maintains he will make it known on March 20. Gifty Ando-Apia has the rest of the story.
Regional assembly in terms of votes. Until seat and so now a nana and only a bohum by and san yes yabontin akọhwehwe bi.
The Central Regional Executives were amongst a number of delegations who called on Nana Akufo-Addo Thursday morning. According to them, they had come to pay homage and to share concerns from their constituents, part of which was the quest to know before time whether or not he will contest.
Na penfuso buaka ina achara lawyer de lorige achara mrade lawyer de lorige na cha mayumi ya chianda eyumi ya cha ya hoya cha ya yumo sanya gaso cha yumi macheme yi yi kakra na yabe na yaba.
In response, Nana Akufo-Addo urged them to hold on in unity so that the NPP can respond to what he described as calls by Ghanaians for the party to rule come 2016.
No, and she say, and also the above 50 mountain, a bema saba, it will be a dean. Masha says, and pay for a work year, meaning I'm also bako. Ebo Amania, the media system. I'm just making the one that can. There's a young upon Peninsula, and then now watch it. Here, me Baba to there. Me Mrs. me pisa me ya Ghana Francis one be Peninsula. The secretary, she says now. And then I'm saying,
he debunked rumors about a deterioration in his health and his advanced age. Nana Akufo-Addo held similar interactions with NPP executives from the Western region and other groups. Gifty Ando-Apia, Joy News, Nima, Acquah.
Well, we still remain with the NPP as the party chairman hopeful, Paul Afoko, has pledged to ensure that whoever is selected as the party's flag bearer for the 2016 elections wins the presidential election when he is elected as chairman. Paul Afoko, whose candidature became doubtful over his alleged conviction, was cleared by the party vetting committee after some investigations. He told the news team he's put the controversy behind him to work towards a new vision for his party, the NPP.
Party executives vetting Paul Afoko put his approval on hold after they were petitioned that he should be disqualified because he was once convicted. He explains he saw the petition for the very first time yesterday.
All I have was a letter that they gave me yesterday, the vetting committee gave me yesterday to read. They told me that I have been saying that it was an anonymous thing. They want me to see who it was. And it just said David Jesse, UK, Ghana. That's all. No number, no name, no address. Whoever did this, whatever their motives, I leave them to their conscience and to God. I will just go on and do what I need to do, which is campaign hard.
Although he said he's not interested in pursuing an action to frustrate his ambitions, he suspects a deliberate attempt to slow down his campaign.
Looking at it dispassionately, and you are forced to that conclusion that somewhere, somebody just wishes me ill. If not, why put such a trumped-up charge against me? And the petition I read yesterday was very clear. It was loaded with malice because the person even stated in that petition that I am open and boastful about my prison sentence.
Paul Afoko says he's bringing his resources and experience on board to marshal victory for the party.
The experience that I believe I have gathered over the years politically, personally, in my professional life, and also wearing my other hat of being a businessman, putting all these together, I bring it to the party and help to reorganize this party. I bet you, even the strategic repositioning begins with my being elected chairman of the party. Once that happens, then the resources that the party needs to start working, the resources that traditionally we've always waited to be delivered to the party in a general election year, I will bring those resources this year so we can start working from now and repeat it next year and the election year so we can win power.
Asked for his position on whether or not the presidential candidate for the 2012 elections, Nana Akufo-Addo, would contest for the 2016 flag bearership, he said although he believes so, the choice is for Nana to make and for him to support. Gifty Andopia, Joy News, Cantonment, Acquah.
Wow. Even though not formal, we know that the current chairman, Jake Obechevi-Lamte, the first vice chairperson currently, Fred Owari, and Stephen Ntim, who has also contested that very position before, I believe twice in the running, is also interested in that very position. So we'll see how Paul Afoko is able to fare among those big weights.
Yeah. We can only wish him the very best. But that's all in the news. Coming up shortly is sports, brought to you by Cowbell.
Friday. My name is Baba Tando. Let's talk sports as we usually do every morning on the AM show, brought to you by the client courtesy of Cowbell. Now, there was action in the Europa League champions in the Europa League last night, and let's see who have actually qualified from that zone to the next stage of Europe's second biggest cup competition. Right now, over the last few years, we've been hearing about sportsmen and women, top sportsmen and women having faced legal sanctions for tax evasion in one way or the other. Now, the latest person to have been bitten by the tax evasion bug is actually president of Bayern Munich, Uli Hoeneß. Right, let's come down to our local level because there'll be action across league centres in the First Capital Plus Premier League. Week 21, we enter. Let's see who and who play where. this weekend. Coming up shortly on your screens, Betchem United are at home to our All Stars. Amidas Professionals, they host Edwana Stars at the Thomas Stadium. Mediama SC welcome dwarfs to the Acquah and Aboso Park. In Brekum at the Golden City Park is Brekum Chelsea up against Hazakis. Hearts of Lions take on Interallies at the Kwando Park. At the Dansiman Al-Hajis Laitete Park, Liberty Professionals, they have a Herculean task against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Ashgold, can they be on their road to redemption after saying that, or after putting their whole team in camp for the next 11 weeks? Nobody goes out. After match days, you come back to camp and nobody has any freedom. This is part of the redemption measures adopted by Ashgold. They host New Edibiasi United at Obwasi Lenkley Stadium. In Kumasi at the Babayara Sports Stadium, King Faisal are at home to Hartsufuk. Right, so there's action also in England talking about the English Premier League. Let's catch the fixture shortly on our screens. Hull City up against Manchester City. Everton at home to Cardiff City. Newcastle travel to Fulham. Norwich City also travel to Southampton. Stoke City, they welcome West Ham United. Sunderland FC at home to Crystal Palace. Swansea City, they host West Bromwich Albion. Aston Villa welcome Chelsea. We have Manchester United up against Liverpool. That very big match. And then Tottenham Hotspur, they welcome Arsenal. Right, in Serie A, Hellas Verona at home to Inter Milan. Atalanta up against Sampdoria. AC Milan, torrid times in the Italian Serie A this season, in all competitions indeed. They welcome Parma. Let's see if they can breathe a sigh of relief, or they can heave a sigh of relief after their game this weekend. Cagliari welcome Lazio. Bologna travel to Livorno. Catania, they go away to Sassuolo. Chievo Verona go away to Fiorentina. Genoa host Juventus. Torino welcome Napoli. And then AS Roma in that big game against Udinese. We go to Spain next in the La Liga. Getafe welcome Granada. Levante at home to Celta Vigo. Rayo Vallecano up against Almeria. Malaga welcome Real Madrid. Espanyol travel to Atletico Madrid. Elche up against Real Betis. Barcelona road to redemption against Osasuna in the Spanish La Liga. Sevilla up against Real Valladolid. Real Sociedad up against Valencia. Villarreal up against Athletic Bilbao. In the German Bundesliga this weekend, FC Augsburg up against Schalke 04. Borussia Dortmund up against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Hertha Berlin at home to Hannover 96. TSG Hoffenheim up against Mainz. TSV Eintracht Braunschweig, they welcome VfL Wolfsburg. Werder Bremen at home to VfB Stuttgart. Bayern München up against Bayer Leverkusen. Hamburg SV up against Nürnberg. Eintracht Frankfurt, they are at home to SC Freiburg. Right, so that will be all for sports for this morning. It's brought to you by the client courtesy of Cowbell. My name is Baba Tando. The AM show continues unabated right after this break. Do stay on.